Hi, and welcome to the Social Media Switch Off with me, Trina Cameron Thomas. And today I am with the most beautiful Anna. You know what? I have to say, because Anna is the doula that I've never even encountered before, because she's an educator, she's a birth rights activist, and she's just got so many facets to her, just like an amazing woman who hosts circles, knows about moon cycles. You know what? And I thought I've got to have her on. I've got to
I'm
talk to
blushing
you.
now. It's just like, oh, okay,
No,
yes.
but I really wanted to talk to you, and I really definitely wanted to talk about periods. So you are going to come on again, and we're going to talk about birth rights, and that's definitely going to be a massive, massive thing in my life anyway, to talk about birth rights. Um, but to talk about periods today, because as a woman, we are taught to do and go and do all these things, but yet our body, ultimately our physiology, works in a different way, works in a completely different way. So let us know a little bit more about that.
Okay, so maybe we'll start where it all came from. So yes, I'm a doula, and it's not and it's not a very difficult thing to not know me, because I'm not working in English almost at all. I think I might have a website in English, but it probably just run out and the domain is not working anymore. I don't there was 1 million. It is 1 million Polish people in UK, and the Polish language is the second after the English language. And when I throw myself 4 years ago in working with Polish community, I just sunk, and I didn't even put myself out there. I just recently started working with my English friend Manisha, and we both have the partnership, so we are dueling together, which is amazing because we have totally different things that in common. She's a postnatal doula, all about the coaching, anxiety, and everything. I'm like doing birth activism, advocating, just go in there and just rock it. So it's just really good, and I like work with people who have different background, and we can implement each other, because I just love it when we can make something bigger. So I like making things. That I'm a maker, making things. And when I see a person and this person is struggling, I usually I can see you in this and this and this, and then I will just push this person. I inspire and motivate and to go further. And that's why last year I decided to go on a training for the new doulas, because I was just me. When you put a line on the UK where the London is, above this line is just me. It was just me as a Polish doula. There was no other Polish speaking doulas in the country, and we have 1 million Polish people. Yeah. So I was just, at some point I was quite busy, and I was very lonely because I couldn't have any backup. And being a doula is something those families count on you. So for 4 weeks I'm on call, and I can't go to the pub, I can't get a beer, I can't go for holidays. I'm constantly on my phone, and I sleep with a phone on, because anytime, and usually the birth happened in the middle of the night. So I grab my bag and I'm just on my way. So I was quite lonely, and I got to thinking, I need a help. Spoke with my mentor, and we came up with the idea that we're going to do another training, but just for Polish women. And so the funny thing is that, out of 6 women that were attending this birth training as a doula training, was 4 of them were my clients, my previous clients, and they were so moved by what happened in the, especially first time moms. They were just so moved by what happened in this birth space, that they wanted to move on this, this, how you call it, the good outcome, and the news and the information, and this wiseness that you can have amazing transformation from womanhood to motherhood. And that was just something that opened their eyes, and that was great. And because I'm doing a lot of things, and suddenly I found myself that you said I'm a birth activist. I work in independent charity that works with an NHS to improve maternity services. So that's my part-time job. I'm a doula. So at the night I'm a doula. At the day I'm a project officer,
Wow.
and yeah. And then I'm also do antenatal classes in English and in Polish, and I run 4 in total support groups, which is the breastfeeding group and the birth group, and the home birth group for Polish people, and in Polish, and also there's the women's circles. So some of those things happen. So some of those groups meet weekly, some of them meet monthly, but when you add everything together, it's just a lot. So this is when I learned, like around 2 years ago, about the power of the knowledge about your body, like how my body works, because I was just by experience, I was pushing myself a lot, and I found with the observation, because I was huge on the fertility, and I wanted to know more, and I wanted to use my body to feel better, feel more, just be aware of what's happening. So yes, I found by the observation sometimes in my cycle that just you would normally call it PMS, and to be honest, I need to tell you now that for a few months, maybe a year now, I don't have PMS anymore. I don't have painful periods anymore. And that's just something that I want to also spread, this knowledge that you can, it's your awareness of your body. My periods are shorter, and the craziest thing happened when I get to the terms that I'm okay with my periods, and I'm not have this weird reaction to my blood, but I actually kind of accept my periods also get shorter, and and it's just so interesting how you fight with your own body. So last year we started doing trainings, courses for Polish mums who are in business, who want to be more efficient, who want to have a flexible job, but also want to use their time wisely, because at some points of your circles you are like 70% efficient, and at some point you are 150. So one of my friends, so I do it with my friend Isabella, and the funniest thing is she's very very organized, and she's very calm person who's normally she's just doing one thing at a time, and she's doing this just a proper, like how it's supposed to be done. And I just know her now. When I'm getting like 150 messages, we're gonna do this. Oh my gosh, she's ovulating now. And I'm like, are you ovulating? And she's like, yes, I am. I was like, oh my God, I can feel it. Like, I'm pre-menstruation. Just don't talk to me. And how easier it will be if we, working with other women, would start the conversation from where in the cycle you are. So if you have the business relationship with other women, and you can share in which way, which kind of point in the cycle you are at the moment, I think it will make things just a bit easier in the communication. Definitely. So don't expect the person to catch up with you on the same level. I was always angry. You can tell that that was my main story was nobody can catch up with me. I'm doing so many things and people just don't know how to do it. And now I'm thinking that actually I didn't pay attention. The other women that I worked with, maybe they were in different points in the cycle.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just awareness is like, oh my God, crazy. So my friends and my doula, as doula babies, my women, my friends who train, and I'm mentoring them now. We talk about it a lot, and we're laughing at it because it's just so amazing to say like, oh my God, you are ovulating now. Just no, or just it's different. And then with the business, with a running business, I think it's really important because as a mums, we have enough on our plate and loads of stress with the pandemic. We trying to run our businesses. We trying to homeschool. We try to do everything at the same time, and and then it's not impossible. So when I look at the lunch of anything that I do, marketing, and if I work with someone, I make sure that they know, then because when you do the launch of your product or your course, like 2 weeks before, I don't know, whatever, you kind of you schedule a marketing period when you want to just pop out from the fridge, and it's like you're everywhere. You're doing lives, you're doing webinars, mini courses, you are on your groups, and you're just smiling like all on
Oh, I
it,
know.
all with people face. And then if you schedule it and during your premenstrual phase, it's just like, sometimes I don't even care about washing my hair or something. And I'm like, oh my God, I need to do a live. Oh my God. And it's just such a struggle. And it's just so like, what? And I had these times when I was invited to somebody's lives and webinars for interview. And I felt like I'm talking now a lot because I'm normally talking a lot.
No, but this is great because I know people that are really going to resonate with this. You know, they're going to so resonate. I'm resonating with this. I mean, we had this chat beforehand, and that even I look at where my periods are, and sometimes even have what I call is a lighter work week. So what I mean by that is that my diary only has my clients in. So if there's any connections to be made or anything like, no, there are no connections to be made during the slight run up to my period and my period, because I know that my iron levels are literally going to drop roughly day 4 of my actual period. Day 4 of my actual period, my iron levels have dropped, and all that I need is like sleep and
definitely. You need to know yourself. So for example, I had this PMS, so I feel like my period is coming. I don't even track it anymore because I basically I know that it's coming tomorrow, so I'm gonna wake up with my period because I know I can feel those levels of things, like this thing rising, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this thing. Like, what can I do? So I'm trying to, just take care of this thing and just like cuddle this thing, but it's like most of this like, whoa, it's just energy. I would say it's energy, and then it's like accumulating, and it's like I'm not getting my period, and my own body is, and everybody is different. The first 2 days is I'm not doing anything. I don't want to do anything, and I'm trying to really kind of switch off. But then I'm starting to feel this positive energy coming up to end of the period, and then getting closer and closer to ovulation with the energy levels rising, and you can feel it like every day you do something more and more.
Yes, it's like being on the roller coaster going up like that.
Yes, and then yes. So it's so important, because then that if you are now, there is things that you need to do. So you're going to do this now, like schedule the campaign for the next month. If you are getting into this place, and that's the point, you are in the doing stage, so you're like doing a lot, and it's not going to be much effort if you're going to add yourself something, and I don't know, a bit higher bar or something. It's going to be okay, because you are like in this kind of rhythm that you're just going and faster and faster, and people are annoyed with you because you talk too much and you're just too much. And people are always saying, like, to women, like, you're too much, you just talk too much. But maybe that's the thing with us. So when I work with clients, when we work on the periods, we usually start from just accepting yourself, and the observation of the cycle. So the course we did with Isabella was 4 weeks. We don't do it in English, unfortunately. So but maybe that's the idea.
Fingers crossed that you do, because I reckon that there is, that there's possibly, some women who would really love something like this, in English as well, because there's nothing like this. There isn't really, is there?
That's a quite good idea. We'll think about it, but it just I never think about it, because with my life being so crazy and busy, like, so but definitely. So it's, as I said, it's the accepting yourself. And I remember that when we start, the course is 4 weeks long, and when we start working with women, they're usually quite shy,
Mhm.
And I start the session with, okay, so you can introduce yourself now and tell me what stage of period you are now, like on your cycle. And they're like, what? Like, I'm on my, I don't know. So it's very interesting to see. And that's why we have a 4 weeks course, so people can actually observe where they are. And I remember one lady said we had the last session after 4 weeks, and we were talking about the rituals, because it was we start on the full moon or we finish on the full moon. It depends where we are. So it just depends what we want to achieve. But I remember it was a full moon just coming, and we were talking about the rituals. Because the hour cycles is called as a moon time as well, so it all connected. And we were talking about the rituals coming with the full moon, writing something down, just doing the summary of everything that happened. And they were talking about having the ritual bath with the crystals. And one lady was like, so everyone was shy in the beginning, and one lady was like, but I'm on my period now. And she was thinking, she said, but I don't care. Actually, I will have this bath. And I would just accept that I am on my period and I can have a bath at the same time. Because people are just, start of this with this place where they are when they, I know it's gonna sound weird, but usually most of the women, when they have a period, they would just wipe down and just don't see it, just put the tampon quickly.
Really?
Because they just don't want to see it. And the same as with all the sanitary projects, you usually don't put it in the bathroom. Some women will hide it and just use it. And I remember even my dad saying to me, like, do you really need to have it in your bath in the bathroom? Can you just put it in the cupboard or something?
Oh, really?
Because it just something. And I was doing that, and I was doing that because that's not a big issue. But I didn't understand that I'm now raising 2 boys, and my sanitary products being all over the place. I at least I know that they know that there is such a thing, and they are not like they were like, it's just raising awareness. So I have boys, but if I would have girls, and if I would have daughters, I think that's even more important to, from the beginning. You don't even need to explain it that much, but just make sure that they see it and everyone sees it, because it's normal. So it's part of our lives. And I remember when I was doing some classes, and I remember that when I was doing antenatal class and I was talking about postnatal period, and there were the couple was sitting there, and he was saying something. He asked me suddenly, like, so when this postnatal period will end? And I'm like, 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks. And he's asking me, but it's like the normal period, so like you're bleeding 2 hours and then it stops. I'm like, what are you saying? So you bleed in like 2 hours and then 3 days nothing, or weeks? How does it work? And I'm like, and she's looking at him very embarrassed, and I'm looking at him like, what are you saying? Like, I don't understand what language you're using. I don't understand what you're saying. Like, how? And he's like, 2 hours, you're bleeding 2 hours. And I'm like, we're not bleeding for 2 hours. We actually bleed for this whole week when we have a period. It's like, that's not possible. It's like, yes, that is possible. I was like, how did you make this baby? It's just so funny. It's like, and they just don't know. And when they don't know, and we kind of have this shame really deep inside of us, that we don't just include them in this process, because we think that's first of all, that's a woman thing. Okay, we can stick to the woman thing, that's fine, but we actually don't talk to other women. We don't talk about it. Like, it's very heavy. I remember in the high school when I was young, I remember we laughed about it. Like, we named it really weird names. They were actually weird, and I don't think appropriate, like, dismissive. Like, it wasn't a period, it wasn't blooding, it was a blood, it was just things, like, I don't know, we were talking in codes, to just avoid to name it. But I remember that we were laughing at it. We didn't take it seriously. We didn't know why we doing this. It was like, and the more you struggle, the more you fight with your period, the more it's gonna hurt. And then and I struggled before I had my kids, and then it got a bit better with all the hormones that is with connected to the transition to the motherhood. But
Yeah.
I was always ashamed, not ashamed, but just like, okay, so I had my period, let it be. Okay, just how I can forget that I have my period, like how can I make it go away? And when I actually get to the terms that I accept the period, accept the blood, accept that it's messy, and I accept that I feel things, it got
Yeah.
much better. It got
Uh,
much better.
you know what? I'm with you. I'm truly with you on this, because there are certain, like, when I'm just at ovulation stage, I'll have like a certain feeling of imposter syndrome, and usually 4 days after my period, I have this feeling of, it's usually monetary, even though I'm okay with money. And what I've learned to do now is just kind of just go through it. And you mentioned that it becomes shorter, because I wanted to ask you a question actually, and maybe other people relate to this as well. So the more relaxed that I am with my period now, and I'm really relaxed when it comes through now, that my periods are now shortened from 28, 27 to 25 days. Is it a daily shortage, or is it the actual bleeding shortage, which is,
I think kind of
less as well?
I think kind of both. So it will get a bit more as normal, like a textbook normal. So well, I had 30, 31 days, and now I have 27, 28, which is weird because I always had regular periods in my life. They were painful, they were long, up to 7 days, but they were quite
Yeah.
regular. And now they're shorter as in a cycle, but also they're shorter as a days. So even when I after having a baby, so I had like up to 5 days at least. But now, if I'm really relaxed and I just let the everything flows through me with the
Yeah.
emotions, everything, it's usually 3-4 days top, and it's and I don't feel it's heavy. It's
Yeah.
like it's not heavy more. It's constant. It's more flowing. Not like before,
Yeah.
it was just flooding, and I was like, oh my god, it was everywhere, and then it wasn't, and it was everywhere. So it's like when you're on a roller coaster of emotion, when you tightening everything in, you tightening your abdomen, and it just basically staying inside. So then,
Yeah.
in the minute when you I don't know, accidentally relax, you flooded because you
Yeah.
just forget about tightening. And also, what helps me was I was always sucking my belly. You know what I
Ah.
mean? Because you want to look better. And I was not comfortable with, the postpartum belly. And I think a few years ago, I was like, nah, I don't care anymore. It's just, I had two boys. Like, what that's just how it is. And with the body positive images that coming out from the Instagram, Facebook, you can see more people that looks like you, not like the magazine model, but actually like
Yeah.
you. And you kind of start to relate it. It's normal, and I think that's the advantage of social media, because our moms didn't have that, and I bet they really struggled. Our moms were raised in a society where they saw the TV shows with they were just makeup all over the face, and just some magazine. I still remember my mom; she still loved to buy the cheapest magazines ever, and it's just ridiculous. There's like weird things inside, like the baby had a baby, or they had two babies, one after another, or
Oh
whatever.
my
It's like
gosh.
totally,
Yeah.
those the cheapest one, and it's like
The really chat magazines.
yeah, like
The
with the photoshopped people
yeah,
together,
yeah,
and they're like, oh, they
yeah.
are dating, but you actually can see that they're kind of like cut out. So yeah,
Absolutely.
but that's what they had in the past. This was the media. So I think we have this advantage of having this body positive imagery
Yeah.
that is coming out from the social media. Of course, there is some crap, like still shaming and body shaming,
There
and
is. There
too much
is.
fit. I
Yeah.
can't stand the fit. Everyone was like
But
need to be fit.
but
But
there's
yeah,
I think, in terms of like, there there's there's bad parts to both sides, to body
yes,
positive and to fitness as well. And I think, we've had we've had conversations before about, you know, about the industry and things like that, and I just think for some people, they're being called to make sure that their body is in a fit position for their health. And the thing is, when they leave when they leave certain groups and certain movements, some people, not all, some people may feel a slight rejection or a slight abandonment, but there's abandonment on both sides, and it's really sad because there's a lot of it playing out at this moment in time. So that's something that I'm really, really passionate about, because in, you know, in health, I know from my point of view, I stopped myself from sorting out my health because I was just so worried about what everyone else would think. But then also at the same time, I was kind of like saying to the universe, you know, I just want to feel good. I want to feel good. But what I didn't realize that feeling good meant that I needed to give up certain things because they were affecting this.
Yeah.
And because they were affecting inside, it was then just showing up
outside. Yeah, exactly.
But you know, I'd completely agree with you on like just letting yourself just relax and just be you.
And we will help you with the hormones. And my skin get better. I didn't change anything. I didn't change the diet because I love chocolate.
Brilliant.
And I have problem with my skin. It's genetic. My mom had the same, but I still have, you know, like pimples and everything, like teenager, and it's just driving me crazy. And I have it always, but then when I was getting to my period, it was like terrible. I looked like oh my god, like I was like 12, but actually I'm not. So it's like, oh my god, no. And I think when I let go and slow down, and I'm just now in my period, when the first 2 days, and just before period, I'm just doing the things. I'm still doing a lot of things, but I'm just doing those that make me happy. So I'm focusing on birthy stuff. I'm trying to detach myself from all the drama, because as I said, I work for NHS a bit, so I try to detach myself from all the drama that coming with the work, because it's pressure. The NHS is such a huge machine, and it's not. And when I said drama, it's about, you know, you need to have 150 reports to prove something is not working, and then 5 years later, it's actually withdrawal or something like that. So it's just so difficult to move things. And I'm like, let's do this now, let's go. And they're like, wait, but we need to have bigger numbers, and those numbers are still not good because they are like numbers just from the city, and we need also from Bassetto. I was like, oh my god. Okay, anyway, so yes, I kind of like slow down, and it helped me relax, so it helped my flow. And because it helped my flow, so I don't keep those toxins, and I don't feel like I'm tightening. And that, I think, helped with this. I don't wear makeup. So I have some makeup stuff because I bought for lives and webinars, because I thought maybe that would be nice, but I usually don't wear any makeup. Sometimes I do, but it's just, I think in the times when I'm like pre-menstruation, I feel like, oh, really bad, so then I'll put makeup and it's all better.
Just say so. Isn't it nice though? Because I don't wear a lot of makeup either. I don't really wear it often. But like sometimes you might be just having one of those days and you think, I'll just put on some lipstick, and then next week you're like, all of a sudden energy comes from nowhere.
I know that I don't usually have makeup. I don't wear it, and then I do like webinars and lives quite regularly, and then I will show up with the makeup. Everyone's like, "Whoa, who's that?" And the same with the hair. So the problem with the hair is that I have a curly hair. I normally straighten them. So the next time you probably will see me with straight hair, because I'm kind of like, I'm gonna be like this, and then totally different. I had the purple hair, I had the pink one, I had brown because my natural hair brown. Now I'm blonde, and it's just like when you said in the beginning, just before we started, you said you sent a picture, but I was like, are you going to recognize me for the next time? The people who are watching it.
We will recognize your beautiful.
I like to be like, you know, and it's just so funny, and I accept that, because before I was struggling, because I was
Yeah.
thinking, why I'm doing this? Like, why I'm changing stuff all the time? Is it bad? Because people like you need to be steady and just, decide for one thing. And I remember when for like before I got to dueling, and I was thinking dueling or midwifery. I wasn't sure what I want to do, to be a midwife or to be a doula. And I went to do dueling because I was afraid of the system. So I was afraid of getting into the system because it's very medicalized. So I was really afraid. And then 2 years later it came back to me again. And again I asked myself a question that I really want to be a midwife, but I was like, but I'm afraid of the system. And also it's a long way. So I gave myself 2 years, which is like super crazy thing to do. And when I say it now, I think like it's so stupid. But yeah, but I give myself 2 years and now I like to revise the thing. And I was like, okay, so I really want to be a midwife. I'm not afraid of the system anymore. So what is stopping me? And I was like, and there was this voice in my head, like I'm changing constantly things and maybe I shouldn't because it's not right. Oh, I have really crazy neighbors. You can hear them driving around.
No, you could hear my husband like having a go at the kids a second ago because they just went all crazy.
I'm quiet. I went quiet. I don't know what they do. But so I was, you have this. I don't know the roles that you should play that you and you can feel like I should just decide and I can't decide. I should choose. And then I did the tarot cards. Don't tell my husband. So I did the tarot cards, and the tarot cards they told me that first was about teaching and leaving us a trail. Second was about teaching a bit also, and then the third one was about learning, that the essence of my life is learning, but also teaching. So now I'm teaching, but they're saying that my essence of my life is learning. So I should go to, but they're saying the teaching is really important. So I was like, what are you saying?
Both.
And they said both. And I was like, why I didn't think about that? I actually can have both. So I started this journey last year. Obviously I need to do some learning. So I'm doing access course, but I'm doing it and I'm dueling and I'm still teaching and I'm still doing stuff. And it's like, it was possible. And it took me 4 years. So yeah, bravo me. But sometimes it's a process. It's slowly birthing of idea. And I think you need to give yourself a space to actually be able to do that. And I know that it sounds crazy to give yourself, let's see in 2 years, but I think if you really deeply think, like feel that that's the way you should go for it, that you should definitely go for it. So the same is with the period. So you can feel it, and we are like sponges. We soak in everything. So if you in pre-menstruation, if you feel like you just can't handle anymore, you just do exactly that. You just don't handle anymore, and that's it. And I know it's very difficult, just setting your boundaries, and sometimes it's such a small thing. I remember when I had my period, there was a first day and I felt really low. Of course I went for shopping, of course, because I can do it, because I'm doing this every month, every week or something. So I went for shopping, I came back and I was sitting in the couch thinking like, I just can't even carry those bags inside.
Exhausted.
I was exhausted. Too much the music in the Asda and the people and the smells. It was just like, oh my god, no, I can't just get out. I was like, oh my god, do I need to get out? I had ice creams in my bag, so I was like, I need those ice creams. So I text my husband. I was like, you need to get out. He was working from home. I need to carry those shoppings, not because they're too heavy for me, but I just can't handle it anymore. And he came and he did that. And I was like, that was so easy. Why I didn't do it before? It's just small things that can actually make your life. And it made me so happy that day, just because of that.
Yeah.
I let go thing that I want to control, because it might sound really trivial with carrying the bags, but with carrying the bags comes also putting everything to the fridge, and then putting into the fridge not in the order that it should be put. It is a control issue, and I'm I have a control issues. Yes. So it was me letting go in this
Yeah.
car and saying like, I just can't handle it, and I'm just letting go. Little things, little things. So so definitely, yeah. It's all about, just feeling and listening to body and just
What would
following
be
it.
your before we wrap up? What would be your top 2 tips?
For
Okay.
okay. So first one, get a notepad and start a journal. It's going to be really tough. It's going to be really, really tough to start a journal because it's just so easy thing to do, but actually it's very difficult. You probably will try to stop after 3 days, but try to write down. They have those journals, like you can put a one thought at a time. Try to note how you feel in the evening every day, what was the struggle, and try to monitor it for 4 weeks.
Mm.
And you can see with some kind of perspective after 4 weeks the things you will look at these things, you'll say like, that's just that, why it was so difficult for me to do, like, I don't know. So put your struggles in the notepad, and then you can see which times in your cycle you were low, and because your struggles were not something you would normally name a struggle when you have ovulation. And the other thing is just, observe your body, and whether, especially with the business, if you do anything, if you want to sell anything, don't schedule a lunch on just before your period, on the pre-menstruation, because you're going to be exhausted. And also don't make a decisions on those days. So I think the third one. So that's really the third one. Sorry, but
No, that's
yes, I'm
brilliant.
just giving up. I'm just giving up everything that I have from my course. Okay, so don't make the decisions on the ovulation because you're hyper, and you're gonna make a decisions. You're gonna probably get into something that it's like a lot. So just sleep with it like for 2 days, 3 days, and the same with pre-menstruation, because you are tired and you'll probably not get into something, and because you just, I don't know, you're worried. And I need to tell it. So I had this situation when I decide in a pre-menstruation period about something, and I got into the something because I was feeling low. So I signed up for the course because I was feeling low and I was feeling bad about myself. I was think my thoughts were
Yeah.
bad, was low. So I signed up for a course to get some qualifications, and then I knew that it's a bad idea the day that my period came. So the 3 days later, I already knew that, oh my God, I wake up and think, why did I do that? And I spent so many money just to get a qualification that I'm
Yeah.
already of the things that I'm already doing, and I know how to do it. But because I was feeling low about myself, like, the imposter syndrome, like I
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
to do it. So I need to have a paper. So I signed up for stuff that cost me like £500, but I actually don't need this paper because I'm already doing it. It was so boring, and I just do the worst thing. But I made a decision before, in this pre-menstruation period, because I was feeling low.
Yeah.
So yeah, so those two things, ovulation and pre-menstruation period, don't make any decision. Just give it a bit more time.
That is brilliant because even we had this conversation today, and I said I'm going through that ovulation moment, and today I've had like all those thoughts in my head. And what did I say to you? I went, I've got to stop, and I had to sit in
Yeah,
silence and like just not do
yeah,
anything,
yeah,
any of it, and just not even action any of it, not at this
yeah.
moment, that I kind of have a bit more free thinking. And it's so true. You know what? It's been absolute a pleasure chatting to you.
Thank you.
Um, Especially, just what we've been talking about today. It's been absolutely wonderful. Thank you.
Yes, that was great. It was really great. And I hope we can talk about the birthright soon, which
Yeah,
I think that will be really interesting, and maybe women rights. And I
yes.
hope, really hope that next time any men, they would not watch it because they might feel it just in advance, I just want to say sorry for all the men that we're
You don't-
gonna watch this next video, because we're gonna go high on like whoop. So lots of feminist things is gonna be covered, because I'm really big on birthright, which is basically the woman rights,
yeah,
human rights. Yeah.
we do need to have these conversations, because some of
Yeah.
these conversations are missing at this moment in time.
And they're very difficult,
Yeah.
because it's very difficult to admit that we have, for example, obstetric violence, and we have women's rights are broken in the hospitals, and we are subject to different medicalizations. And I think that's very difficult conversations, because we don't want to hear it, but that's actually what is happening.
You know what, they are. I mean, I suppose during these times there are going to be difficult conversations. Even I've got to have difficult conversations over like health and wellness and things.
Yeah.
But
And it's really important, because not many people knows, but we estimated it is estimated that 1 in 3 women it will end up with postpartum depression, or even the PTSD after their birth experience. 1 in 3.
Absolutely. One here. So I can, this is going to be an absolute beautiful conversation. It's going to be a really good conversation. I want to thank everyone for watching today. We're on at 12:30 every week on a Friday, and yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.